Welcome to the Infill Podcast, where we interview the most interesting members of the 3D printing and maker communities, live and with audience participation. And now, here is your host, Jonathan Levy.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome back. It has been quite some time since we had an episode due to holidays and other various factors, but I'm really excited about today's episode. We're going to talk about design. We're going to talk about content creation. We're going to talk about making a living with your designs and content creation. Before we get into that, one of my favorite segments, you guys know it. It's the What's Printing Jonathan segment, brought to you by Octo Everywhere. Now you can see a lot of my printers are unplugged because we're heading into the weekend right now. I want to save on my power bill, but the ones that are printing and are connected at various different places, you can see, thanks to Octo Everywhere, are being monitored by AI, so I can be present and be here with all of you. On Python, we've got a PETG drip collector for my father-in-law. Shout out to my father-in-law. And on Millipede, this is pretty fun. You can see with Octo Everywhere, I can also log in remotely to the printer and access the entire dashboard securely. You can see that one of these prints just finished. It's a meter-long multi-board, and another one just started. This one has actually been printing. I'll show you guys. Has actually been printing nonstop for 5 or 6 days and is about to cross 8,000 meters of filament, which is pretty cool. Shout out to my filament sponsor, Polymaker. On to today's episode, you guys. Today we are joined by, and I'm going to try and do the name properly, Valerian Weber. He is a designer and content creator, specializing in some very beautiful, simplistic, and minimalistic, yet functional designs. I will show you guys throughout the podcast as he's speaking, for those of you who are watching the live on YouTube. And remember, audience participation is encouraged. So let us welcome our guest, Valerian. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. Thank you for having me on the podcast. It's a pleasure to be here.
It is my pleasure. And I do also owe you a thank you and an apology, because I know we had to reschedule so many times. So thank you for your patience and understanding.
Don't worry. It's completely fine.
So Valerian, I do a really bad job on bios, kind of intentionally, and I love to hear a little bit about you in your words. You're a designer, you're getting into content creation. Are you full-time on this? Tell us a little bit about your backstory and how you came to be a part of the 3D printing community.
Okay. I think I started right before Corona hit. So it's 2019. I got my first 3D printer and we did uni projects with it. And my prints looked insanely ugly. Let's be honest. It was Ender 3 and I kept on upgrading, but it got better. And at some point I was confident that I could maybe sell some prints, make some money for university to cover basic expenses. And yeah, that's where it all started. I had few printers who printed in the basement of my what do you call it? It's
dormitory.
In my dorm, basically. Yes. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then at some point, I started to release my designs as well, because I thought, hey, I'm only selling in Germany. Might as well publish my designs. Get a commercial license online and have other people sell them as well. And from there on out, I kept on creating stuff and turned to YouTube. I really stumbled into that one. I uploaded my first video without really knowing what I was doing. And yeah, but it took off, and then I created more videos. That's basically it. And all the while, I did my bachelor's in mechanical engineering and my master's in mechatronics. And then last year, I said, let's take this risk and do this full time, which
Amazing.
that's where I'm at right now.
Amazing. And sorry
So
if I'm
now,
not making eye contact
no,
with you.
no.
I'm trying to, while you're talking, you don't see the broadcast, but I'm trying to show people your designs. For those of you who are in the car, check out the links in the description later. But for those of you watching, just some really beautiful designs, which I have a lot of questions about. So, but first, let me address what you said, which is I think many designers are not making content. And from my experience, knowing a lot of designers myself, the content is a really important part of promoting your design. So would you say content for your business is a means of driving traffic to the sales, or is it also a part of the business? Are you, I don't want to get into your pocket, and feel free to not answer, but are you also earning from the content, or is the content the means to an end for you?
Yeah, so both of it.
Yeah.
I couldn't do the content I'm doing on YouTube if I wouldn't earn extra with it. So it goes both ways. And to be honest, only doing YouTube would be more lucrative. And yeah, but this enables me to spend more time on my videos, which sometimes can be a lot of effort to make. So some of my
Sure.
videos took like 6 to 7 weeks full-time work,
Wow.
and which is like 200 hours plus. And if I didn't have sponsors and stuff like that, I could never do that. And yeah,
Wow.
it's
Wow.
it's
So
nice to
for,
have them.
I'm discovering you as, as we go along, because I really aspire, I aspire to keep on top of it, but we're so blessed right now with so many content creators either coming online or growing. And I feel like every week I'm discovering new creators, and that's why I have the podcast. But walk people through. I mean, I know your content from the content where you introduce your designs, but you also have a lot of educational content. So tell us about that.
Yeah. So this all started when I first put my commercial license online. It was all over Patreon. And I thought some of these people, it was only like 6 or 7 people who sold my designs, and they come to me with quality issues and questions. And then I thought, okay, there's like no video online which explains their questions. And then I uploaded this video, my very first video I put on YouTube as well. And they loved it. And I thought, well, why put this behind a paywall? Let's just put it on YouTube. And I got a better microphone. I redid the voiceover, and yeah, that's how it turned out.
It's so cool. Like I hear that story so many times where people say, it all started because people were sending me questions, because my friends had, I think it's the most common, maybe not today where everyone wants to be a YouTuber, but it used to be the most common, like, hey, I uploaded my first video and it blew up. I think that's wonderful.
Yeah.
I think you make a really nice point though, as well, which is you either have to be all in on the content, and it's a more than full-time job, and and even then you got to be pretty, I mean, I'm known as pretty aggressive in packing sponsors into every video so that we can afford to do the things that we do. Or you have to have a back end. Stefan has the CNC Kitchen products, and Maker's Muse has educational products, and you have your commercial license, and then also obviously you sell your designs on things. So I'd love to hear about your design process, because you did say you have a background in mechatronics and engineering, and yet, and I'll pull up your designs again, because they are, a lot of them, these beautiful organic models.
Yeah.
And the first thing I thought to myself when Leslie told me, that you'd agreed to do the podcast, I was like, okay, good. We're going to figure out, like, how are you doing this stuff? Is this like a Python script that's doing these repeating? So I would love to hear how something like this is designed. It's not what you think of when you think of a classic engineered design work.
Yeah.
I mean that in the best way.
Definitely not. So I don't know, which software do you use for CAD?
I am an Onshape guy, and not just because we just signed a deal with them. I've actually been using Onshape for ages, and I love it. It's like my favorite.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've heard lots of good stuff about it. But so what I use is FreeCAD, because I was a poor student. And I used it for all my designs. So classical CAD software. And most of my designs are basically made with loft operations, but rather complex ones with multiple sketches and stuff like that. And yeah, that's it. It's just a lot of that and getting to know your software as well as you can. And yeah, and recently I switched to Alibre.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard of it.
I've heard of it, but I don't actually know what it is.
Yeah, it's also a CAD software, but a little bit more advanced than free. But it's one-time payment only, which I like a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've been using this for the past few designs, and I love it. It's extremely stable for loft operations and stuff like that. I almost never get any errors.
I feel like I need to
And
watch I mean, this is probably a good plug for your YouTube channel. I need to see a video of how designs like these are lofted.
yeah,
Like I'm looking at shape-shifting
you,
planter, right? Which looks like
yeah,
reptilian scales on the side, and it's
yeah,
not
yeah,
clicking with my head how you're doing this with loft It's crazy.
yeah. So that's not a loft operation, or
Okay.
it's a single
Okay.
scale, and then you do polar patterns
Yeah.
and fuse them together and adjust the angles and all that stuff. I think most people who make designs like mine use node-based designing, like
Right.
Blender.
Yeah.
But I don't like it. It's
You and me both.
I like to have a design tree, and I don't know. You can probably relate to that, right?
Oh,
So
I can't stand Blender.
having it,
I
yeah.
almost gave up on CAD, and then I realized, because the story goes, I did a whole video about it, and the comments were very mean. They were like, "Why were you?" My video was like, "I'm leaving Blender for Onshape. Here's why." And the comments were like, "Why did you even try like the apples and oranges?" But when I was getting into 3D printing, I searched CAD for 3D printing, and what came up were a lot of great videos by the 3D printing professor and Keep Making, and people who have used and continue to use Blender for CAD, and it can be done. You can also, you can also make a bed frame with a pocket knife.
Yeah. Yeah, it's exactly that. And what's funny, other designers in my space, they use both in parallel. So
Right.
they
I've heard
do
that.
all the mechanics in CAD and then switch over to Blender, which is a good solution to be honest. But yeah.
Now, Valerian, are you full-time on content creation and designing?
It's those two, and then it's also consulting on the side.
Got it.
Which lots of people have reached out and asked me if I could offer this service, and that's why I offer it. It came after this whole YouTube thing, and I never planned to do it either.
Very cool.
But
That's
that's
fantastic.
nice. Yeah. I love it.
One of my
Yeah.
main goals for 2025 has been to highlight independent creators and get more people off of salaried day jobs and into the 3D printing community, because it pains me every time I meet a designer and they're like, "Oh yeah, I work a day job to support, my family." It pains me selfishly, not that they're miserable. Some of them love their jobs, but it pains me because selfishly I'm like, how many more designs would we be getting? How many new extruder releases would we be getting? So that's great, and I love to hear of designers.
Yeah.
I wonder, don't obviously give numbers, but I wonder the split of like how much of the income is on content creation, how much is on design, and also if you have any tips for folks, because I know a lot of people in the audience dream of doing what you've now done, which is turning their creativity into a full-time job. And maybe, I can't offer them advice outside of YouTube, because that's my forte. So I would love to hear, how is the split, and what are some of the things that you've done in your journey to make that possible? Because it's an incredible achievement.
Thank you. So the split is around 1/3 comes from my designs.
Oh, wow.
And one third is YouTube, and the last third is currently this consulting, but only because I'm having a long-term client. Maybe the long-term client is currently paying even better. So I think it moves that. And I can basically cover basic expenses with my designs. So making a living off designs is really hard. I think a lot of people underestimate it. But if I had to give advice, it's looking at some type of niche that you like and then improve on it and add your own style to it. I think that's the thing that works best.
Right.
But it's very hard to tell, honestly, because it's so every person is different. Every person likes different designs. And even though we have lots of fidget toys, I know that, for example, creating fidget toys is still lucrative. So
Really,
it's still hard for me to tell. But yeah.
it is
It's
interesting because I think there is a certain all that glitters effect here where I get served a lot of YouTube shorts from like designers. I'm not going to name any names, but designers who are like, today I designed this model and it's been downloaded this many times, and you're like, wow, it's the dream, right? Like I remember.
Mhm.
I'm trying not to talk too much on my own podcast, but I remember after my product business, shipping widgets around the world, I was like, digital products are the best business, right? You make it once, you sell it a million times. But it does seem to me that a lot of the people who are doing well off their own designs are actually printing and selling them, like on Amazon or Etsy. It's that combination, like you said, of doing something unique, not another dragon, mixed with if you can do the whole fulfillment, right? Like look at Scott Ujan. He and Overwork did that beautiful
Yeah.
design.
Yeah,
I don't think they would have been able to spool up an entire print farm making money off of that design if they hadn't done the logistics of it, and now it's a big operation. So it does seem you had also mentioned earlier on, like people have quality control issues. So if you can own the whole supply chain, so to speak, I think that's huge. What designs have surprised you that you're like, oh, I'm going to make this for fun, and then it's a runaway success?
Oh yeah. One that surprised me a lot was the egg cup. I even made a video about that one. I sold this during my student times a lot. And it's just a very niche product and people seemed to like it. It was something new. And I didn't expect it to sell this well, especially on Christmas. I don't know. I don't know who eats egg cups on Christmas, but that's how it is.
I'm showing it on screen now for folks. It's literally an egg cup.
Yeah. And I have to agree. It's best if you do the design and the supply chain, but it's also really hard.
So hard.
And I know a lot of printing farms that succeed with licensing designs, and obviously people I talk to as well. And I know designers who only do designs. So
yeah, true.
You can do all of it. So everything is viable. I know the 3D printing community is always like this black and white.
Yeah.
Like never license anything and stuff like that. But if you take a look at these huge print farms, like all of them are sell licensed designs. So it obviously has to work as well. And like Scott Yuan, if you do both of them,
totally,
it also works. It's just different business models. And
yeah, and it seems like there are runaway successes in all of them. Like as you were saying, it's very hard to make a living just off the design. I was thinking multi-board has been so successful, even though it's all free. But then again, that's 6,000 designs, a full ecosystem. And there are just so many designers out there. I think ultimately, I have a theory as we're speaking. I think ultimately where the rubber meets the road is, are your designs something that someone else can make money off of with a commercial license? Because I think most of multi-boards income comes from commercial licensees. You were saying your business started to take off when you had a commercial license. So I think it's kind of like online courses. I used to be in online courses and we would, struggle because we were teaching memory techniques and study skills. And, all these business coaches that I work with were like, if you could reposition it as people can make more money, which you can if you can learn faster. But you can sell the course for 10 times more if it's a means to make money. You can sell the membership for 10 times more if it's, hey, you can sell my designs and make money. People view it as an investment.
Yeah. And that's exactly it. That's also the people you would like to sell to in the best case, the people who have money, like businesses.
Yeah.
Because a business, let's be honest, let's talk about courses. If they pay 1,000 euros for a course, most of them don't care. But if you buy this as a person, it's a lot of money. It's so
100%.
I think
and it always
also a big part of it.
the dichotomy for me is always really interesting, where I'll be like, if it's something for, I don't know, for my car, I'll just be like $50 for this little thing. And then, if it's a new light for the studio, I'm like, that's only $600,
Yeah.
It's just a different mindset. What are you excited about in 3D printing, and what is changing for you? Like, are multi-material printers changing the way you think about design? Are you already designing for breakaway and soluble supports, or are you still focused on the mainstream person with that single nozzle printer?
I'm still focusing on the mainstream person.
Yeah.
But I'm incredibly excited about the multiple tool heads, or like Bamboo Lab showed these multiple nozzle printer.
Yeah.
I think multi-material will be a core part of 3D printing in the future. And I don't think the AMS solution we currently have for most printers is a good solution. It's so much waste. And
I agree.
I rarely ever use it. I think it's really handy not to fidget around with filament and just have your 4 spools all together. But I rarely do multicolor prints.
Yeah.
So
I will say, having the XL, but then honestly, sorry, Prusa, more the Snapmaker, because the speed and stuff like that, and the fact that it auto loads, it's really changed. I don't want to say, I have a sponsored video coming out with them 8 minutes ago, so I don't want to sound like a shill, but it's actually really changed the way I think about a print. And like, well, supports, do I really care that much about supports? Because the breakaway supports are so freaking good now. If it's gonna give me that much better of a design, time wise, whereas I used to look at a design and be like, oh, I'll try to print it this way so the color changes. Now I just don't care. I'm literally printing something in the other room, which is, it's 4 colors on every single layer. And the designer had it laying down so that it would be only the first few layers. And I was like, I emailed and I was like, can I print it standing up? And does it have anything to do with strength? He's like, it's going to be wasteful. I was like, if it's going to look 1% better, I don't care, because it's only going to take me an extra hour, so it's really, it's genuinely changed the way I think about 3D printing and multi-material. And that's exciting. That's so exciting. Because I feel like you're right. Like you had to be very open to waste and have a good filament budget to really do multicolor printing before.
So I'm not sure if multicolor will come to the very low price printers. I hope it does, but I think that's still a hurdle to pass, because I think the Snapmaker is quite cheap already.
Right.
But most people don't want to spend 700-800 euros on a hobby. I think that's a big part that's still missing. But with the leaps 3D printing did in the past few years, I think we're on a good track to have a bright future. Let's say it that way.
Totally. So one thing that was interesting to me when we were setting up for the podcast is you made very clear to me, like, yeah, I do minimalist designs, I do kind of home decor, but it's very, very important for you to have a functional component in your prints. Is that a personal philosophy thing, or is that a marketing thing and a sellability thing?
Yeah. So it's 2 things. With it's better for marketing, but I also like doing it because we have the capacity to build this stuff into it. for injection molding, doing twist fits or hidden boxes in planters is nearly impossible. Let's be honest. And with 3D printing, we can take designs and then add a fun part to it, basically,
Right.
or bring the fun back into everyday objects. And I think that's a big goal of mine.
Yeah.
To do something unique, and not just another planter like
Yeah.
the thousands.
It is very interesting. Like, as I try to learn CAD, I'm experimenting right now with injection molding here in the studio as well. And you really are spoiled if you're in 3D printing, because you're like, oh, I can't do that. Oh, I need draft angles. Oh, how am I going to machine this? I feel like I started the wrong way, because now I'm so spoiled. Everything, I'm like, why? CNC machining is a pain in the nuts, because I have to actually think about how it will get made. Whereas with 3D printing, you really only have to worry about overhangs. That's all you care about. And even that, you have a solution, you know?
Yeah, I think you can still design in a way to optimize for 3D printing.
Right.
But it's advanced, and most people probably don't need it. But
right.
Yeah.
Right.
You would be. I was very surprised to see the consulting requests I get for people who just have one product and they want to bring it to the market as fast as possible, and they use 3D printing. Can be an enclosure, whatever. And these people, they want to optimize to the limit. They want to print hundreds, maybe thousands of these and iterate on the design. And they want little design changes that make it unreliable. They want it to be reliable in the long run. And you can make a lot of very specific 3D printing related design changes that help a lot. But yeah, maybe I do a video about that in the future.
Fantastic. And on that note, I am going to open up questions to the audience while we wait for them to submit their questions. So guys listening live, please feel free to send your questions. I'm going to thank our other sponsor for this episode, which is Sovel. We're talking about FDM 3D printers and how they've gotten so much better and faster and cheaper. And Sovel has quite a few of the printers that I actually use the most. And I'm not even talking about their monster, the new SV08 Max. I actually end up using the SV06 Plus, the new one, a lot. And I use the Sovel SV0 a ton at home. They make great printers. They're no frills. If you care about open source philosophy and modability and customization and actually being able to access the firmware to the printer that you own, then Sovel is kind of the only game in town right now. Like, pretty much everyone else is closing down their printers, relabeling Clipper as their own firmware and not giving credit. That's not Sovel's MO, and I don't want to call out anyone in particular, but a lot of brands are doing it. Check them out, because they make fantastic printers, and most importantly, they support the projects that they take from. They support the Voron project, they support Clipper. Check them out, and thank you, Sovel, for sponsoring this episode. So we had some good questions come in. The first one, Iome Studios asks, with the egg cup design, he's curious how you deal with the wave of is it food safe people, and what is your response to people who say you're designing something for food, it should be food safe?
Yeah, so this question has come up quite a few times, to my surprise, because for an egg cup, no part of the egg that I'm going to eat is even touching the egg cup. So I'm not sure. I think it's ridiculous in this case, but I get the whole food safe conversation. I know that people are worried about it, and it's a valid point, to be fair. I think plastics and stuff in our food is a big problem, and I try to avoid products that come in direct contact with food. And I think the egg cup is it's not even in contact with the food, because the shell is in between.
Right. And ideally, you've boiled the egg, and so the shell is clean.
Yes.
Egg shells. I lived with a pastry chef for a while. I didn't realize like eggshells, you can die from not washing your hands after you handle eggshells. They're full of awful bacteria. But if you boil the egg, you're fine. Lucifer FPS has a great question that, but you do consulting, so it's a little off topic, but not, considering that you consult, which is, what material would you consider ideal for a chlorine pool functional part, like gear for a pool cleaner?
Oh, that's a hard question. So I've never looked into chlorine resistant filament, to be honest.
Right.
But if I would have to guess, maybe, I don't know. I'm honestly not sure.
I'm gonna check with AI before I give my answer.
Yeah. It's very specific.
It's very specific, but generally, I'm just checking myself. Generally, the most chemically resistant filament all around is PETG. There are specific, and this is where I had to ask AI, there are specific kinds of chemicals that work better with polypropylene, like acids. If you know, Breaking Bad, when he's like, you have to buy the polypropylene buckets, and then he just puts it in the bathtub. He goes through. Polypropylene is very good with specific types of acids. And then there's other ones that we can't 3D print, like PVDF and stuff. But generally, my rule with anything chemical, whether it's resin or bleach or anything like that, is start with PETG and see how it goes, because it's surprisingly chemically resistant. That's part of the reason why a lot of things like cola, which is very acidic, come in PET bottles.
You're completely right. Yes.
I may be right. Maybe I'm right. We'll see.
Sometimes you forget that we use these plastics in everyday life, that we use in 3D printing as well. It's always weird to think about it again. So yeah,
it is. Thanks for the questions, guys, and keep them coming as we kind of chat. I would love to understand where the future is for you, right? Because if I were a creative person like you, Valerian, creative people tend to not stand still. And I get the impression you've done now a lot of home decor designs, and you've branched, to the dry flower vase, away from the planter. But it seems to me like you're always looking for the new challenge, the new exciting thing to design that's going to push your skills. So what are the things you're looking at now that you very clearly have a handle on planters and kind of that kind of decor?
I think I want to expand more in that direction still. It will still always be home decor. But I really try to take everyday products and make them better with 3D printing. Yeah. And I honestly can't tell you where this will take me in 1 year, for example. But yeah, I'm incredibly excited, because with the technology advancing this much, we also have a lot more creative freedom. And yeah, I think what's something you're excited about in 3D printing?
I have to honestly say I'm excited about tool changers, but not for the multicolor as much. Though, like I said, having 2 kids who I feel like are obsessed with something new every week, like literally every week. My mom, who's in California, is like, "Oh, I bought them Spider-Man stuff." I'm like, "Spider-Man's out. Keep up. It's Bluey." Like, I'm pretty sure people who have kids in the audience will be laughing right now. So that's exciting, multicolor, but actually multi-material. Like, I'm going back and reconsidering things that I'd written off. Like, I wish I had an example here. Like breakaway supports, right? Which is so inefficient that it's not worth it with a multiplexer. But I printed this Spider-Man mask for my son and used breakaway supports, and you literally can't tell. The places where the supports were look nicer than the rest of the model with overhangs. So I'm excited about that. I'm actually very excited about the PETG Air becoming more popular. I know you guys have, I don't remember the company that invented it, but they're based in Germany. VarioShore. is there, but they don't ship worldwide. And now a lot of companies are shipping worldwide this stuff, and it's like super impressive what you can do with it. It feels like EVA foam. So I'm already
Okay.
thinking grips, handles, anything that comes into contact with skin. I don't know if you've seen the like everyone's doing these custom Gridfinity shadow boxes now, and you know the ones where it's like you cut out your tool shape.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And they're doing it with filament, and I'm just like, I haven't gotten my hands on a roll, but I'm like, how is no one doing this with the? I mean, shadow foam is EVA foam, and this stuff foams like EVA, and it's very. Let me just show you guys. Hang on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Try this with normal TPU. Like, look at that. Look how ductile it
Nice.
is, and it weighs like half as much as normal TPU. So it's literally like foam. I'm just thinking to myself, like the custom tool holders you could make where you would make it exact size, and then when you put your fingers in, the TPU depresses so you can. I have so many ideas. I have like many kilos of it on its way. So I'm excited about those two things for sure.
Yeah. I think what's also insane about 3D printing that lots of people underestimate is that you can bond materials that usually you can't bond. You can print them like interlocking, and they will just bond to it via the shape, basically.
I've
And
got
I think
examples of that too. Yeah.
That will open quite a few product ideas in the future. I think that's great. And I'm also looking forward to having more Axis 3D printers. I don't know if you have seen this. Yeah,
so sell me on that.
Live.
Sell me on that, because to me it feels very gimmicky right now.
Right now it does, but 10 years in the future, I don't know. You could print without supports.
True.
And have different strengths in different directions, because you can adjust the layer orientation. You could even include what do you call it, FEM analysis, so structural analysis into it, and adjust the layers accordingly. I think this one has a huge potential. So
that's interesting. Yeah, the no supports thing is pretty interesting to me. As you brought it up, another thing that I'm excited about is well, I'll give it more broadly, because I can't say exactly who's working on this and what, but all the developments in automated 3D printing, and I'm not talking like robot arms. I'm talking like the InfiniFlow, and there's this other one out of Switzerland that just adapts an A1 Mini, loop, I think it's called. These are exciting, and there's even more exciting ones coming. There's more belt printers coming out on the market from what I gathered on my trip to China. So it seems like a lot of companies are taking note of consumer printers now being used in farms and thinking like of affordable ways to automate farms, rather than, you know, a robotic arm on a slider and all these like crazy things that are not feasible for a small to medium sized operation. That's exciting to me as well.
Yeah. For I'm sorry, that was German. It sometimes slips through. I think we always have the waste aspect for 3D printing in the back of our head. But imagine a world where we have decentralized production. So instead of producing something in China, shipping it to Europe, and then maybe shipping it, I don't know, to a different country in Europe again, you print stuff locally and sell it there. And I think that's a huge selling point, and actually something good for the environment.
Especially if you're using like locally sourced, right? Like if you're now, I'm not going to get into the politics of tariffs and stuff like that, but I'm going to say that all the major filament manufacturers are now setting up in the US. And I think that's a good thing, not because of America first or anything like that. It's a good thing because the US has so much surplus corn. And why ship the PLA pellets from the US to China back to the US, So yeah, using biomass grown locally to extrude filament, that's a good thing. You can't deny it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope that more companies adopt the recycling part as well.
Same.
Because I don't know if you know this brand. It's called Recycling Fabrik
I know
in
them
Germany.
well. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love what they do. I always send all my misprints to them, and
That's awesome.
I
Yeah,
wish
I've
more
been
people
trying to
would.
convince. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No. I was done.
I've been trying to convince anyone who will listen that I think the extrusion part is really easy. Like extruders can be, everyone could have their own extruder. I think the laws of physics are going to make it really hard for everyone to have their own filament shredder, but we all have access to a university, a hack space, a local company that does a lot of 3D printing. Like, I think if we can have the Kodak film development model, where it's like I have the camera, in this case the extruder, and I take it somewhere to get my filament shredded.
Mhm.
I think that's going to unlock a lot more recycling opportunity. Recycling Fabric is also, if people don't know, they are franchising. So they now have an operation in Turkey that they're setting up,
Nice.
and they're looking into other places in the world, apparently. And I'm excited about recycling for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
It's a tough cookie because, as with most things environmentally friendly, it's easier to make new stuff and it's cheaper to make new stuff.
Yeah. True. Do you worry about filaments that are enhanced with fibers like carbon fiber filament? Did you ever talk
Safety
to someone about
wise,
that? No, for recycling.
I don't
Can
recycle
this
them.
really?
I'm like
Yeah.
extremely picky now about what I recycle, to the point where, like, if I have supports, if I print, this is kind of a downside. Ironically, the Snapmaker and all these tool changers, they save so much waste. But if I'm using breakaway supports or dissolvable supports, I throw away the whole support because there's the small risk that, there's a shred of support filament inside the actual support structure that I can't see that's tangled in there. And it's just not worth it to me. I'm saving so much
Mm.
waste anyway. I don't try and recycle that 10 grams of tree supports or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And I think you have to be so picky. I don't care about additives like, the difference between Polysonic PLA Pro and Silk PLA. I don't care about that. It's kind of law of large numbers when you're mixing it in 50 kilo batches.
Yeah.
Even like glow in the dark, I don't care that much about it. But yeah, carbon fiber I don't recycle, or glass fiber, no way.
Yeah.
I probably
Yeah.
could though. I think I could. I have hardened nozzles now, so
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting because I've never tried it myself to recycle. So you have the whole setup in your
I do.
studio,
Yeah,
basically.
I've done
Okay.
a lot of videos on it, and the hard part is the shredding, which I think you could get done really easily locally in Germany because you have
Okay.
so much industry. But the extrusion is not expensive. I mean, a proper made in Germany extruder kit is like 700 euros.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, I'll definitely have to look into that one.
Recycling
But
Fabric sells regrind as well. They'll sell you
oh, they
the
do.
regrind if you want to extrude it yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Maybe in the future. Yeah.
That's
Um,
really cool. So that raises the question for me of like how many times do you have to print something before it's ready and right in your design process?
oh yeah. So um, I think people ask me lots of times, or when's the next design coming out? And I can assure you, I'm working all the time on new designs or new videos. So it's in progress, but it just takes a lot of tries sometimes.
Right.
So for the latest design, I haven't released this one. I think 7 tries at least.
Wow.
To get all the mistakes out or get a look at different shapes or snap fits. And I
That makes
tried
me
to print
feel
it with different printers as well.
right.
So
That makes me feel better
so
because sometimes I beat myself up if it takes, 3-4 times to get something right. But you're a
yeah,
professional designer, so
yeah.
that's great. And what printers are you testing on?
Most of the time the Bamboo Lab X1 and the A1. These just work best. And
Yeah.
honestly, lots of people currently have a printer that prints at that quality level.
Right.
I don't do the whole Ender 3 thing anymore because it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I
I'm
think
with you.
most people use high-end printers. Yeah.
Most, yeah. I mean, there's Bamboo's selling million printers a year or more. So, yeah.
It's insane. But
There,
it's
the
also
amount of
deserved.
it's
Good.
100%.
They are good machines, and they have propelled the 3D printing industry forward.
100%.
And yeah, and I love that other companies like Snapmaker are catching up. It's
Totally.
great. It's good for the whole thing. So
Totally.
yeah.
Tom Van Bellen says in the comments that he found German recycled PLA pellets for €199 a kilo for anyone who wants. Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife's calling on
It's
repeat, so I hope it's not an emergency. Emergency? Question mark. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. So apparently I have a little bit of a child emergency, so I'm gonna wrap us up here. Sorry about that. My wife's telling me there's an emergency. But we will leave a link in the description to Valerian's designs. His company is called Factorian Designs. And thank you so much for coming on today. And I hope we get to do it again soon.
Yeah. Thank you very much for inviting me. Anytime, if you want to talk again, I'll gladly join. And people who have questions left can also write me directly if they want over Instagram or my YouTube contact. Yeah.
All right. Take care, everyone. And sorry for the abrupt end here. Something kid related. But take care, everyone. And thanks again for tuning in. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Infill Podcast. For show notes or links to anything mentioned in today's episode, visit thenextlayer.com. If you enjoyed the episode, please don't forget to leave us a review wherever you're listening, or click the like button to let us know. And consider subscribing to The Next Layer on YouTube so you can tune in live and participate in the next conversation. We'll see you on The Next Layer.